All right, hello, and welcome back to the 9th episode of WCAT Chats. I'm Alex Carr, joined alongside by Palmer Ruth and Nitin Raju, and we have an exciting episode for you guys today. I've been waiting for this for so long. It's been in the works for a couple months now, but we finally got it to come to fruition. We get to have Will Benson, the 2016 grad from Westminster and the 14th overall pick in the MLB draft, to come on the show today, and I am so excited for this to happen. I mean, we've been waiting a while. And Palmer, how did you get this interview?
We've just got in contact with him, and we've been working out dates and times, and, it's happening today. So can't wait for y'all to see it. It was a great interview.
Yeah, we got to catch up with him after school, actually, today. So let's go on, toss it over, where we got to catch up with Will Benson and see what he's been up to and how this season's been going so far. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have, honestly, I've been so excited for this for a very long time. We have the 2016 grad, the Cleveland Guardians drafted him 14th overall. We have the Westminster legend, Will Benson. Will, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing blessed.
I mean, Will, you guys, the Guardians had a very successful season this year, and I know as a Yankees fan, it came down to the wire in the end of the playoffs. I mean, for me, it was so much fun watching you play against some of my favorite players. Do you have any insight on what that playoff experience was like?
Yeah, I can vividly remember all the white shirts as I'm standing out there on the line. I remember Aaron Judge towering over his coach. I just remember just like the gym that Bieber threw, just being absolutely, geeked out up there, getting my little opportunity to hit in Yankee Stadium, which was dope. Just the intensity too, Oscar's walk-off, like that was.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that wasn't in the Yankees, but that was just incredible just to be a part of and to experience. Just the plane ride, just everything about it was a blessing for real, and it's something I'll never forget.
Yeah, and you got called up earlier this year for your first time to the majors. What was that call-up experience like?
It was. I mean, that's my favorite word. It was a blessing, to be honest. Like, I can't even really use another word other than that, just because it's everything I had worked for, especially, walking through these halls, like knowing that at some point I was going to get drafted and, make it to the majors. And then for that to all kind of come into fruition, it was like, whoa, it's a blessing.
Yeah.
So you actually got called up. The story goes you were at a Taco Bell. Do you remember what you ordered that time?
To be honest, like I said, my fiance, she's pregnant, so she was hungry. And we were going home on a road trip because it was the last game. And I wasn't hungry because I ate good. So I was like, I'm just going to take her to get some food. And we're literally in the line at Taco Bell. Taco Bell was closed. We had to go to another Taco Bell. And then my coach had called me, rang me right there. And we pulled over. Like, we were in the line, pulled out of the line. It was like, hey, there's no other reason why you called me. Like, you know what I mean? I just... we're done. It's time for us to go home. And we had all day the next day, so it was like, you have nothing to call me for other than, what's going on.
Yeah. I have one question about that. Why Taco Bell?
That's what she wanted. Hey, you'll learn. Hopefully you have a family of your own, but when your girl's pregnant, bro, you get her what she needs.
All right, that's fair enough. Me personally, I wouldn't go there like a Zaxby's or Chick-fil-A or something, but that's just me.
So, again, you kind of mentioned the Oscar Gonzalez walk-off home run, which was a crazy playoff atmosphere, and we saw the video of you with the Gatorade.
Oh, yeah.
You missed the dunk.
Yes, I did.
So
we'll roll the reel right now,
Yeah.
but great atmosphere going on and everything, and to top it all off, the Gatorade dump.
A little bit of a fail.
I think John Boy Media made it up. Did you see that video?
Yeah.
That was.
Did your teammates kind of clown you a bit for that?
They did. I didn't realize like, it was that big of a deal. And then one of my teammates said, bro, John Boy Media put it on his Instagram. I was like, well, I thought it was like something that blew over. But, yeah, they gave me a couple jokes now.
Yeah, that was really cool to see. Now, you were a student at Westminster. You were a great student. Actually, you guys won the state championship for baseball your last year. Do you have any stories about how that went?
I just remember that group of guys, just a great, solid group of people. I think when it comes down to winning, too, that's what you really need. It's just a good, fun group of people that really genuinely care for each other. Armand, Blake, Rankin, Ethan, just a few guys just to mention. Harrison, just good people, you know what I mean, that I just really enjoyed playing the game with. Kenneth, I just keep rambling off people's names. But I love those guys, and we won. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, you know, we practiced, we played, and it was, you know, clutch hit after, you know, clutch outing by Blake. I remember we went to BT, didn't think we were going to really do much. But we went out there and we showed up. You know, we won the first game. We're like, oh, snap, we just need one more, and this is over with. And it was insane. And I think, too, it was kind of cool, too, because the years before that, we were kind of close as well. So for us to cap it off and then to be my senior year, it's just like, yo, it's a blessing for sure.
Well, obviously, that's a great memory, but do you have any other kind of memories that stand out to you in your time at Westminster?
I remember, I just remember, you know, hanging out with all my friends, really, to be honest, like playing basketball. I remember in 8th grade when that little, I don't know, just little play area. That's like my first time at Westminster. Never forget those days. I used to want to be the best on that basketball court. Coach Malloy, Zach Darling, just really good people. My teachers were dope. Miss Dietrich's one of my favorite teachers here. Is she still here? No, she's not.
I'm not entirely. Yeah, no.
That's sad. But yeah, it's really just the people that I really remember, and all those fun tennis matches at the campus center was a lot of fun.
Actually, speaking of people, you, Nitin, and I all share the same coach, Coach Laney. Do you have any funny Laney stories to tell us?
To be honest, Coach Laney is probably one of my favorite people here.
Yeah.
Just to say that. My favorite memories or funny ones are just Coach Laney. Anytime I asked him to throw to me, he would throw to me, regardless of what time it was of the day, regardless if he had just played an extra inning game or something. Like, Coach Laney was always there for me. It was nothing necessarily anything funny, because we'd always be sharing funny moments and things of that nature while he was helping me. But like, he was just always there for me, especially when I needed someone to throw. You know, that's like your dad, almost, like, you know, like somebody would just throw to you whenever you need it, and he was there for me. So I attribute a lot of his success to me, because, you know, to have someone like that in your corner is imperative, and I got better that way. Even if it was blind reps, I'm still repping stuff out just because Laney was there to throw to me. So God bless Coach Laney, his family, and everything, because he helped me a lot.
Actually, I remember last year you came to one of our practices, and Coach Laney was telling us a story about him throwing to you and the BP and the relationship that you guys have, which is really cool to see, and I hope that we get to share that relationship with Laney just like you did.
He's a goat.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, I love Laney.
So before you got drafted by the Guardians, you were originally committed to play baseball at Duke and walk on for basketball as well. Why Duke?
Duke, just because my parents had stressed academics, and obviously, you know, Duke speaks for itself when it comes to that. And then when I went to North Carolina for my visit, it was probably one of the most beautiful campuses I visited at the time. So it only made sense. And I love Coach K. I love the baseball coaches there. I just love the whole atmosphere, everything that was going on there at the time.
Yeah, the Duke campus is absolutely beautiful. We've had a couple of teachers here go to Duke. I remember just telling them them telling us stories about it, and it just seemed a whole lot of fun. Before you went to Duke, you actually won the 2015 U18 Baseball World Cup. What was that like, being able to represent America?
My favorite word is a blessing, y'all. Like, I can't even lie to you. To be all the way over in Japan, you know, repping the stripes and the stars was crazy. I mean, it was something that I hope everybody gets to experience, obviously, to go overseas, but to then go overseas and do what you love and play the game, especially at such a young age. It was such a strong net group of people, and the coaching staff was incredible, and we went through adversity. So, you know, nothing's good without a little bit of adversity, and it was everything.
Yeah.
And then to bring home gold too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Come on now.
Yeah. So you mentioned Duke, but obviously you didn't go to Duke because you were drafted out of high school. So what was your reaction when you were first drafted?
Hey, there it goes again. Blessing. Every time. I'm sitting there, you know, kind of understanding that at this point I'm probably going to get drafted, you know. How high or where, is where the uncertainty lies. And so I'm sitting there in New York, sweating, praying, sweating and praying some more. And, you know, I get my name called, and it's just like a rush of emotions come over. Just super happy just to see my parents' face and smile. My dad, you know, dapping me up, giving me a hug. You know, just my phone blowing up. You know, just all those things and above was kind of the essence of that experience.
So then, obviously, did you have a bit of like waverness when you're deciding to go between college and the MLB? Was there a little bit of, you know?
No, sir.
Nope. Straight. That's it. That's
Yeah.
it.
It's time to get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like getting picked 14th overall, you're like,
Yeah,
I
no,
might as well.
Yeah. Just
Go
not
right
really
now.
a decision at that point. Yeah.
It's time to get to work.
Yeah, that just entire experience seems like it would be so cool. The draft was broadcast, that's correct?
Yes, it was.
Did you go there in person?
Yeah, I went to New York, yeah.
Yeah, that is so cool. Just being able to be there with your family. So after getting drafted, what's been the minor league and major league experience just been like overall?
A grind, uplifting, challenging. Just to throw a few words out there. I mean, it's something where obviously you get drafted, you're on top of the moon, and then, you know, really you get thrown into the pen. Like, it's cool, like, you know, to get drafted, but then it's like there are other people in it with you that want to get there just as bad as you do. And you have, for me personally, I had the internal pressure, the external pressures as well, things that I'm trying to live up to just because me being, you know, a kid, 17, 18 years old, just trying to conquer the world at one time. And then to sustain that for, what is that? I got drafted in 16, I made my big debut in 22. So just to weather those storms and to enjoy the ups and the downs, to enjoy the good years, the bad years, to see who's really with you. You know, my family, my fiance, my dogs, and people from Westminster that I really care about that were just there with me through that journey. It made it all worth it to the point now. Okay, 2022, I'm a big leaguer. You know, things are looking great, and it's like the story starts all over again, where it's like, there are people out here. Obviously, I want to win rings. That's like my biggest thing. I think it's cool. Like the personal accolades and everything are dope, but when it comes down to greatness, in my mind, it's just winning. So that journey starts all over again, and now the journey is not necessarily as personal. It's like not Will Benson's game, but it's more like, hey, how can I make the team I'm with as good as possible, and so that we win in championships? Because that's powerful for the community, right?
Yeah.
Like, more money comes to Cleveland now because we're winning. More money goes to each person's families just because we're winning. So just want to win. And that's kind of where the journey kind of starts all over again for me.
Now, obviously, with a good team chemistry, you'll meet a lot of new characters. Have there been any like special people that you've met along the journey to the majors that have made a big impact on you?
A few. I think there's a brotherhood that was created when I first got drafted in the minor leagues. Just to say a few, you got like my boy Zay, who actually just got drafted like a few years ago, but he made his debut with me. I've been playing with Zay since I was a kid, since I was like
Sandtown.
Yeah, Sandtown days. Then you got Juan, Todd. These two are the guys who were with me in 2018 when I was struggling, and they're my dogs forever, and they're my brothers forever. Then you got Coop. Coop is just a funny friend that I had met. You got Tristan. Tristan's in the big leagues too with the Guardians. But again, that's another example how the Guardians do a good job of just getting good people, tight-knit people, and now we're in the league together. And then you got Richie. Richie's another friend of mine who, again, just another brother who's playing the game, and our paths cross, and he's a great person, and it's fun to be around him. Jose was another person. Jose Nelson was another friend of mine who, again, like, just down to earth man, you know, and just blessed to have him in my corner. And honestly, it's a lot of dope people that you meet when you play the game, especially with the Guardians. Like, they draft and they build a system of good people, man. Like, you enjoy going to work every day. That's like going to school with your friends every day. You know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I would hate to go to school and not like nobody. You know, that's lame. Like, kind of superstar, you know, just to kind of get at the people. I think superstar that I was very pleased and very thankful to meet was Mike Trout. He's somebody whose game I studied. You know, I want to be Trout. You know, I want to be better than Trout. So to talk to Trout was everything in a nutshell. It's so funny. He keeps it simple. So anybody who's listening and want a little nugget, just keep it simple. That man keeps it so simple, and that's how you can be consistent over a long period of time.
Talking about people, we read something you were roommates with Steve and Quan.
Oh my God.
In 2021.
Oh my God. Steve, I love you. If you see this, I love you, bro. I'm sorry, but Steve's on the top of that list as well.
What did you learn from him? What was that like, kind of rooming with him?
Steven is sent from God himself for sure. He taught me the power of meditation. He taught me the power of journaling. He taught me just how to really be in tune with yourself, which I think is more valuable than anything you can learn in your craft or anything you do in life. Is really a journey with you and you. How can I better myself? And Quan really taught me that. We played chess together a lot, so our chess game was my little chess.com going nuts.
What's your ranking?
My rating right now, I'm only gonna take the good one. I'm like a 976. It's
pretty good.
On like the Blitz, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Blitz, and then I ain't gonna go for that one. That was not that good. But yeah, Quan is a guy too who obviously you see how great he is on the field, but he just taught me how to look at the game a little bit different. And I can explain it in a sense of, we put our all into whatever we care about, which is right, which is good, right? But there's more to life, than being really good at what you do. It's more really about how you impact people. And I think Quan really, really helped my mind and helped my whole overall, as a person to understand that.
And a little bit ago, you mentioned scuffling a little bit in 2018. How did you get over that slump and able to turn around going into 2019?
The turnaround was just a desire, a hunger to be good. I think that's what it really boils down to. And again, like I said, in that year of 2018, my dogs, man, like Todd and Juan, like even though, I wasn't my best me, they always found a way to bring it out of me and just to enjoy it. The last few months of that season, I actually went crazy. And it was because, they kind of just poured that love into me. And obviously the coaches there too are great, but it really boils down to who you're around and talking to on a daily basis. And so, honestly, another thing that helped me get through it, just be a good teammate, and, just be a good person. And at the end of the day, the Lord work things out for you for real. So just do that. And then, like I said, I went to the off season hungry, let these people know I'm not playing.
You mentioned a couple of times being blessed and your relationship with God. How did that get started, or has that just always been with your family?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely deeply rooted in my family. I believe we're all, products of our ancestors and our prayers, and so I think this was just deeply rooted into who I am. And I never forget, like my dad every day, dropped me off at school. We do the little scripture recites, and he just tell me, keep God first, love your neighbor as thyself. And so I just try to embody that. After day and day of hearing my dad say it, it's kind of ingrained. And then it became into a way of I wanted to learn a little bit more myself, And now I'm about to have my own kid, my own little baby boy. It's like, how can I do the same thing for him? And let him know that what's really real, what's really important, and it's really, our connection with God and how we walk, on a daily basis.
And then kind of going back to how you kind of made that big jump from 2018 to 2019, other than the kind of, like believing in yourself, that self-hunger, was there any other aspects that really clicked for you, maybe mechanically or even just like kind of in the game? Yeah,
that was actually one of the first years where, credit to Jason Esposito, probably one of my favorite hitting coaches. That was a year I came in and I said, look, man, I'm not changing anything. Like, regardless of what goes on, whether if it's another bad year, or man, I turn this thing around, have a good year. We're not changing anything because again, I had put so much time into that off season to where there's no need to mess with anything. And I knew at that point in time, like my skill set was well equipped. You see what I'm saying? To go out there and perform, right? Perform and do what I'm capable of doing. So it was really a little bit of physical, but man, if you go back and look at my swing, it's jacked up. It's terrible. Yeah. 2019, my swing was terrible, but yeah, I'm still killing it. Why? It's because of this, and just really going out there and just competing.
Yeah, obviously being 6'5", 230 kind of helps on that physical aspect side. But the season 2019 went pretty well. 2020, a couple of seasons after that for the Guardians, looking better. How are you guys looking going into next year?
I mean, we look dangerous again. I think it's a young core, right? As you can see, and then we just got Josh Bell, another big bat that we can put in the middle of that lineup and get some more RBI production. That's the thought. We look good. I think again, I like where we are just because we're a young team. We experienced the playoffs last year, so we know what that's going to look like. We know what that feels like. We know what it takes. And I think again, our manager Tito, he's simple in the sense of all he wants us to do is play hard, and that's simple. Mm-hmm. And it's crazy how by us playing hard, we were able to beat teams. And it's like, okay, that's cool, and we can control that. So we can control that controllable. We play hard, we can live with the result. And so we've only gotten better, experience under your belt, and seeing it in real time. Like, hey, we're in the playoffs. Like, this thing's real. We were a game away from going to Houston. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, we had the right pieces. We just added another integral piece. Let's just see how it shakes out this year.
And talking about those playoffs, there was that one little moment in the playoffs where one of your teammates hit a home run off Garrett Cole and rocked the baby. Do you have any funny stories about that?
So I remember, again, I'm standing next to Steve, good old Steve, and he hits the home run. Cool, whatever. I'm not looking at the ball because I know it's gone. And we know Josh is kind of like, he's about it.
Yeah.
So, hey,
seems like a fiery soul.
Yeah, fiery soul. So I'm like, okay, well, let's see what Josh does. And he did it. And so I just remember just staring at Quan, just in complete shock, that just transpired, knowing that, New York was going to blow that up next time.
Yeah.
So it's what it is. And I love Josh for it because, credit to him. When we got back to New York the next game, and we played, he was eating it all up. He loved it. He wasn't shying away from it. He created a monster, and he handled it like a true monster himself. So, kudos to him. Now, am I doing that? No, absolutely. But again, that's a man who can handle that, and applaud to him.
What was it like playing in Cleveland for those playoff games? What's the atmosphere like there? How are the baseball fans?
Incredible, for real. It's different from the regular season, obviously. But I didn't think it was going to be like that big of a jump in terms of people are really into the game the whole time. Usually during the regular season, you get your people who are invested in, watching and all the little intricacies and things of that nature. But then when you get to the playoffs, it's like a natural, just like everything means something type of deal. And I think that's why our manager does a good job of trying to say hey, nothing changes for us. Even though it changes for a lot of people around us, we're gonna still play the same ball. But the atmosphere is crazy, and just to see all the red, surrounding the field, the little banners that they hold up and they correlate, and them doing the wave, and just seeing a mass of people and people screaming your name and da da da. The list goes on. But it's something that again is one of my top baseball experiences for sure so far.
Talking about the wave, I know a lot of players don't like the wave.
They don't?
They don't.
Why not?
They think it distracts them from the play. But how do you feel about the wave?
I like it. I mean, for me personally, it just gets me in the present moment because I'm like, whoa, like look where I'm at. People are doing the wave around me. I think it's dope. It doesn't take me away from it. Obviously, when bro's about to start pitching, like, bro, look what's going on. I think it's dope for sure.
Yeah, I feel like the wave at the right time can be like beautiful, but like I've been
Yeah.
at Braves games where it's like bottom of the eighth, bases loaded. What are we doing? Watch the game.
Yeah, the Braves do a great job of getting into the other team's head. Do the Guardians do anything like that with the lights or anything?
No, they don't. I think we could do a better job, but at the same time, it's like just let it play out. I think that's actually a very interesting point you make that I think should be used, to be really honest, because that stuff is effective.
Yeah.
And it really sees who's really locked in, who's not. But I think that's funny, bottom of the eighth. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like at the same time, like, I like it because I think people should just be there, just enjoy the game. Just enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour game.
Yeah.
Just do it in the eighth.
Did the Guardians do anything special for Class A's walk-in?
Yeah, so it's like a little flame thing. Obviously, congrats to Class A.
Yeah.
Reliever of the year.
He
Yeah.
throws a very fast cutter for those people wondering. I think 100, I think 103,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah,
It's
he's mean in MLB The Show. It's the video game. Actually, speaking about MLB The Show, have you used yourself in the game yet?
I have not, but it's really cool to see people like, reach out to me and say, "Yo, bro, did you hit a home run?" I think that's really dope. And I look good on there, so yeah, I think that's cool. I have not yet though.
So we saw you're dominant. You kind of have like that, winner mentality. You always want to win. We also saw your ping pong tournament on John Boy. You did win your first game.
Yeah, man.
So how was that atmosphere, especially with the John Boy Media? I know you mentioned that finding yourself on John Boy Media with the Gatorade and then kind of being in that atmosphere.
It's dope, man. I think those are some good people over there. Really funny people too.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you look at their page, but it was actually really chill. Honestly, we were just in Arizona kicking it in the hills, and nice little spot that I guess they had rented out. Just had some fun. I think that's another thing I want. Like, obviously, you're listening to this, but it's a huge platform, John Boy Media, and I think they do a good job with promoting the game the right way. But at the end of the day, I want to just say that those are good people. So behind that screen, it's some good people, and it was such a fun time to be around them.
Like, I may not know them personally, but they're the ones who got me listening to podcasts, and then we started this for the school. So they've meant a lot to me, at least. Do you have something you could almost say about your futures and your charity and what you do with that?
Yeah. So the main mission of my nonprofit is to empower the youth, to empower kids mainly from where I grew up on the southwest side of Atlanta, but it's really just kids all around Atlanta, to be honest. Like, I have a kid in my mentorship program. He's from the east side in DeKalb. But it's really about how can I help the next generation just have the correct resources, be in touch with the right people, have the equipment they need. Hey, if you're struggling with food or anything that honestly, that we take for granted, that people really don't have. I just try to supply it, and just see where there is a demand, and then where there's a demand, here comes Futures Near, just trying to help in as little way as I can. I mean, I can just quickly say, like, we have a mentorship program, where, again, I just take in a kid and I essentially just mentor them, give them game about baseball, give them a little gear, things of that nature, and then we have like a family type of section where I try to target, mothers and just total families that obviously need something. So an example, we have a Christmas drive where I take a few mothers, single parent mothers that really can't afford Christmas gifts and things of that nature, and just give them some gifts. And then we have like the youth section of the foundation where I strictly focus on youth. So it's like I'll have like youth baseball camps, which I have one coming up in January. That's it's gonna be dope, and that's honestly available to really any baseball player that would want to come in. It's free too, so that's huge. And then also have a toy drive, and on the 23rd, I'm collecting toys now. So if anybody's listening to this, you have some new toys that you would like to donate, please just coordinate with me, or if you have any financial donations that you would like to do, I would also appreciate that. We have just about 30 kids right now that are actually listed out, and each kid will get 2 toys of their choice. And this is actually my first time collaborating with this guy named Jackson Gamble out of Southwest Atlanta. He's from Sandtown as well, and we're helping out like that whole Sandtown region of families. We actually handed out a pamphlet to Sandtown Middle School and A. Phillips, as well as reaching out to churches around that area as well. So, like I said, right now we have about 30 kids, and I would love to fill their demands. So that's just a little rundown of Future.
Who helped you get started with all those organizations?
Mi madre, my mom's everything. I had a vision, I had a plan. Obviously, just like looking at the best athletes and wanting to be one of the best athletes. Another thing that I had noticed was just their contribution in in the world, you know, to their community. Obviously, shout out to LeBron. If he hears this would be dope. You were my inspiration.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he's my inspiration. Like the I Promise School and doing all those dope things. I was like, man, I want to do that for Cleveland and do that for myself and people back home. So I had a vision when I got drafted in 2016. I said, you know, I'm gonna start my own foundation. And my mom kind of just like, you want to do it? Let's figure out how to do it. And in 2017, we were up and running with all the papers, all the documents to be a 501(c) nonprofit.
So if someone wants to get involved, can they just email you? Where do they need to go to kind of, give that help?
If you want to get involved, just email. You can email me at willbenson27@gmail.com. If you actually go to futureisnear.org, that will be the full website. And then from there, there'll also be a way to contact us. And that would actually be the preferred way. So if you could, just go to futureisnear.org and then click the contact button. Then you can reach out to us via email, and that way we can really, get it popping and just really help out. Especially coming up with this toy drive coming up, toys will be greatly appreciated, especially gently used to new, preferably new. Also to just obviously financially as well, just getting done because we can get exactly what these kids want. That would be dope too. So, yep.
And now going back a little bit to the religion, on your Instagram, actually in your caption, it says Jeremiah 29:11. What does that verse say and mean?
So Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare, not for evil, plans to give you a future and a hope. It's ingrained in my heart, on my arm. It just means everything to me. Like God has a plan for me, God has a plan for you. Is His love in a scripture. And regardless of what you're going through, He has a plan for hope and prosperity for you. And that's something that I lived on and I relied on through everything, to get to this point. Every time I signed a ball, I would try my hardest to put that verse on there just so that people could feel that and could see that and know, like, okay, God's got a plan for me. And then here's somebody else affirming that for me. And then so as I'm writing it too, it's like, this is surreal. Like, God really does have a plan for me. And then I sign that same ball, and I'm in the big leagues. It's like, man, like, life's crazy. Like, here you go, bro. Like, God's got a plan. And it'll bring your heart to tears, and you really think about your own journey because it's real. Like, He has a plan for each and every person. And the more you tap in, and the more you just rely on Him, the more blessings start to flow through.
What's actually kind of cool is you're talking about that signing the balls. My brother, I believe he was in 5th grade or something, he ball boyed or bat boyed for the Westminster baseball team, and you actually signed a baseball for him and gave it to him, and now he's a senior and he's looking to go to college for baseball, and yeah, he's right there actually. Yeah, so it's really cool to see the everything go through a full loop. But if you could, what would be like a piece of advice you would give yourself?
From when I was
From when you were
in high school?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a great question. Well, what do you want to know, brother? Be yourself. I think that's the biggest thing. Be you, and then learn. Like, continue to learn what makes you you. I think a lot of times, especially when we're in new settings or new surroundings, it's completely normal because we are human. But we tend to give in to wherever we are and whatever's going around us. Where, hey, I need to just stay solid, just be who I am, and live with that. I think, especially coming into pro ball, you try to mold into the settings and surroundings that you're in. Especially kind of being here at this school, I think it's a little bit more diverse now. But me being kind of one of the few black people in the school is like, man, like I gotta fit in where I get in type of deal. But as time went on, that's why I love the school though at the same time because everybody was so open-armed, and to the point where I got comfortable really quick while I was at Westminster. So I was able to just be myself. But that's probably my biggest thing I tell myself is Will, just continue to be you, but continue to be you and learning about yourself. What makes you great? What makes you a better person? When do you feel comfortable? When do you not feel comfortable? Why don't you feel comfortable? Just question. Question it, bro. Like, don't just give in to the anxiety and the anxiousness of what's going on. Just like, learn and I'll be happy with the result.
Yeah. So, you were able to do your gender reveal at Progressive Field.
Dope.
Was going through your head? Were you scared you're gonna miss?
I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't at first. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Like she's gonna throw it, cool. If I miss it, then we're gonna re-record it. I was more nervous for her because before we started it, she was like, "How do I throw it?" I'm like, "Girl, throw the ball. Like throw it. What do you mean? How do you throw it?" So it's more so I was nervous for her than for myself.
Pitch was a little high.
It was up. But I put a little joke in there. My boy John, I've been working on that.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those go not so well for other gender reveals.
Going back to your school days, you know, were there any like teachers or any people here at Westminster you want to highlight?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that I really liked. On the top of my head, obviously Chad Laney's first and foremost. Chad, I love Coach Laney. I love him to death. You know, you can't replace him. He's really like everything to me, especially coming from teachers from Westminster. The coaching staff, you know, Trey Malloy, Zach Darlin, you know, they made basketball fun for me, and they gave me opportunity to really just like be a really good basketball player, and I appreciate that. Coach Jones, y'all had Coach Jones?
Yeah, actually we did.
Hey, he's one of a kind. I didn't have Coach. He's one of a kind. I love that guy. Yeah, Gary Jones and he's one of a kind. He made. Well, I forgot what he taught me in physics or something like that. But he made it fun. I think her name is Miss Harris. I hate that I don't remember her name, but she was my biology teacher. She's dope. I can't believe I forgot her name. Sorry, I love you.
Yeah, I don't think she goes here anymore or teaches here, unfortunately.
Well, that's fine.
But you won't have to see that now.
Yeah, Miss Dietrich was my 9th grade math teacher. Just her class atmosphere was incredible. My Spanish teacher, I forgot her name. What's your Spanish teacher name?
Tacello.
Wait, which grade?
She did like the Spanish 1, like the very beginning. First.
Senora Taylor, maybe? No.
Is there Martin?
Yeah, Miss Mars.
Martin.
Major?
No, I don't think. A ton of teachers have moved
Yeah.
on from here. Yeah, was Mr. Searle teaching here when you were?
He was.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
I
cool.
love Mr. Searle. Mr. Searle also is another teacher that I really liked here. Is Lucas still here?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lucas was huge for me, especially in that weight room.
Yeah, I love Coach Lucas.
You know, is Coach McGuire still here?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I think so.
Coach McGuire is a walking goat.
He's not coaching baseball anymore, unfortunately.
He's not?
Just
No, he's
softball.
not.
Just
Yeah,
softball?
just
Softball.
He
softball.
really likes softball. He's the head coach too, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he
So
still?
I think he loves that.
Yeah.
He
Still
loves
good.
that. And he was another guy who was just super calm, down to earth, and he really just cared about me as a person. And I always liked him for that.
Yeah, I love Coach McGuire.
I feel like I'm missing some people that I just know were integral in my time here. But I think I got the right people because they
Yeah.
So Marty Wild's a goat.
Which class?
No, he just like.
No, he just
Yeah,
I don't
he's
even know
like
what he
a little-
does.
he's
But
like
he's
a
my
turner.
favorite. Hey, Marty Wild, I love you. You watching this? You're the man. You're the man. Marty Wild's the man.
Growing up, were you the fast kid? Because you're like the 94th percentile for sprint speed. Were you always the fast kid growing up?
No, I didn't think about that. No, I just run, y'all, and I just happen to be fast.
Well, that's incredibly fast, 94th percentile.
I didn't know that.
Hopefully that happens to me because I'm struggling in the speed department right now. So hopefully that transition happens to me. Thank you so much for joining us. This has been everything I wanted and then some. I mean, it's been so much fun. We'll tag all of Will's links, accounts, everything, the socials down below. So make sure to go hit him up and toss a follow wherever you can.
Donate to his charity, help him out. A lot of kids want some good gifts for Christmas, so
Yep.
I
help
really
him out.
appreciate that, y'all. Thank
Yeah,
We
definitely.
wish you guys the best of luck this coming up here for the Guardians. Wish them maybe another playoff appearance, maybe even farther.
Hopefully not against the Yankees.
No, they can lose.
No,
the
they
last
can
game.
beat they can beat the Yankees. That's fine with me.
I want the Yankees.
Well, it depends on how far or where it is. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we'll head back over to talk about some future pro athletes. I love doing that interview. It was so much fun. Will Benson, one of the biggest Westminster icons. Like when you think Westminster athletes, Will Benson's up there on the list. I mean, one of the biggest baseball role models for me, especially at this school. But Will Benson's not the only athlete that we'll be talking about. The swim meet, the boys and girls just had a pretty good race. Paul, you want to give us a little info on that?
Yeah, so last night, Tuesday night, we swam at South Forsyth. The girls won, scored 180, and the boys put up 114 and lost. But combined, we beat South Forsyth. Sadie Clayton for the girls had a great meet. She had the max possible amount of points scored with 16. Jake Scott for the boys put up 14. Great meet, lots of PR, especially from the underclassmen. You know, they've really been putting in the work, and it's really showing. And it's great to see everyone improve meet and meet out.
Now on to wrestling. Wrestling has the Buckhead Big Belt Big meet on Friday and their meet tonight. It's going pretty well for both Sam Rivas and Cooper Thomas because they both won their weight class at the Atlanta Invitational Tournament last Saturday. The next meet, the Buckhead Belt, with Lovett, Holy Innocents, and Pace. It's going to be a pretty big meet this Friday, so we wish the guys to get best of luck as they take on kind of the Buckhead schools here in Atlanta.
Yeah, and it'll also be hosting the Westminster Duels next Saturday, which has a ton of teams coming, which is a lot of fun. Now, I was talking with some of the wrestlers this past week, and they loved what they were able to do last weekend. I know a lot of the sophomores were excited with the competition that they were faced, and even though some of them didn't turn out, like some of the matches didn't turn out the way they wanted, they gained a lot of experience, which is what they needed going into this weekend, as it is a really big tournament, as Nitin said, and they're looking forward to this weekend because they know this is where they can prove themselves and show that this young team is capable of going pretty far into playoffs or whatever wrestling has.
Yeah, last night, both the boys and the girls basketball team played Holy Innocents, just like swimming. Guys lost, girls won. Girls had just an overtime thriller, you know, great defense by Celis Archan and Julia Stallworth. Ryan McFadden played really well, but leading the way was Courtney Ogden, who put up 28, including some clutch free throws in overtime. And, you know, it helped us beat Holy Innocents 55-51.
What a game. It was a crazy intense game. You can go see a bunch of highlights. We'll probably put them, I think they're on Westminster Wildcats, the Athletics Instagram.
Yeah.
They were on there. So if they're still up there, go ahead and check those out. And now let's go over to squash.
The basketball teams the boys basketball team put their record now to 4-2,
Yep.
and they are currently first in their region, which is Region 4A, Region 6 of 4A, which is a little bit confusing. But they're looking pretty good this year, and there's a lot of good senior leadership.
And then the girls are now 3-3.
Yeah,
They're
and-
also first place in the
Yeah,
region,
they are.
which is kind of wild. Well, they're 1-0 in
because
region
they're
play.
1-0. Yeah, they're 1-0. Actually,
Now they'll be
they're
2-0.
they're 2-0 in region.
And the
play
guys
now.
will be 1-1, so they're probably not going to be in first anymore. Probably second or third, maybe.
Yeah, not entirely sure, but I mean, both basketball teams are looking really promising, which is a great sign for both seasons as they just started. And I know from talking from all the sophomores, juniors, and seniors, they're looking forward to how the season goes. I mean, we all know how dominant the girls' basketball team is, and now it's time for the boys to kind of show their strength.
And then squash had a big trip yesterday. I think they left school around 1 o'clock to drive up to McAllen. In Tennessee, it was a tough loss. They lost all their matches, but it was a great experience with the good competition. So the squash team is a lot of young players, a lot of sophomores, freshmen, and juniors. So the team will be looking to gain some experience and even make a push in the region, make it a state.
Yeah, and one thing about that squash match, I was talking with one of the squash players. That Macaulay squash team is one of the best you will ever face, and it was great to see that Westminster was able to compete with them and stay on their level. I mean, that Macaulay team was insane. I was told that Macaulay's last bottom seed person was comparable to our top seed, which is, I mean, it's as good as competition as you'll face. So it's just good preparation for the young season.
And over the weekend, Michael Johnson and Alex Lee, both won. Michael Johnson, class of 2019, and Alex Lee, class of 2022, won the D3 soccer championship for Chicago. Great seeing them win. That team actually had the first woman head coach to win the soccer championship for the men's team. So great to see that. Alex Lee, 10 out of 10 Gatorade shower. We'll need to tell Will Benson a little bit about that. And, you know, just as well, we've had a lot of other cats playing in these tournaments and for soccer, and they've all done great. So just great to see y'all continuing at the next level.
Yep, we wish all athletes in Westminster and out the best of luck in their future endeavors.
Well, I think that'll do it all for this season of WCAT Chats. It's been a lot of fun hosting so far. And also, we hope you guys have a great Christmas. Next week will be exams, so we'll be taking the week off, making sure we can focus on our studies, as I know we will need all the extra help that we can get. Now, thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Alex Carr, Paul Maruth, Nitin Raju. We'll see you guys in January. And go Cats.